Let's raise our glasses today to all the teachers out there, okay? Because God bless America, that cannot be an easy job. So cheers. I hope you're having a great day. If we have any teachers on here, write in the chat. If you're a teacher, what grade you teach, or if you work in childcare, there's other childcare, daycares. I did that stint for a very long time. I want to hear from ya. I would love to hear a teacher's perspective on today's topic and dealing with terrible parents. Cheers. And for everyone else who's not a teacher, I also hope you're having a good day. I had a parent with a 6-year-old son. She wasn't married, didn't work, or have any other kids, so this boy was her universe. He had special needs, so she became a self-taught expert on childhood development disorders. She stayed in my classroom, oh my God, all day and interrupted my instructions if she felt it wasn't suited for her child. I got daily emails. They were CC'd to my principal, superintendent, and resource department head telling me what I did wrong that day and how to improve my teaching methods. She also contacted the district office to file an official complaint about me. Why? Because I wouldn't allow her son to go into the girls' bathroom. According to her, he's 6 and curious and had every right to satisfy his curiosity. When she was told that the female students had a right to privacy, she said, "I don't care about those other kids." Well, this is just disturbing. There's no way I could do that. I really wouldn't. I'm surprised the school allows that. That has to hinder the teaching environment and also the other students and the environment of the classroom as a whole. Having that mother sitting there and interjecting all the time, at that point I'd say, why is he even here? Homeschool him. I was hired as an 8th grade ancient world history teacher in a pretty awesome school district. It was my first week on the job and I was teaching hominids. I walked into the main office on Friday morning, 15 minutes before the homeroom started, to make a few copies. Suddenly, as I was about to walk out, the main office security said, "Oh, here he comes." My first thought was, as I looked at this intense father. He asked me if I had a moment and motioned to the conference room 10 feet away. He guided me over to the room as if he worked there, asked me to have a seat, and proceeded to shut the door. He then blasted me for teaching his daughter about Lucy, the infamous what word is that? Australopithecus? Bro, discovered in Ethiopia. This is what's being taught in 8th grade. Y'all, I need to go back to 8th grade, clearly. He explained that what I was teaching to his daughter was a lie created by the government as a way to take our love away from Jesus. His evidence for this viewpoint was that because if evolution existed, then the sun would be larger and it would have swallowed the earth a millennia ago. I was dumbfounded. Since it was my first week at the school, I had just tried to sit there and take the verbal abuse. We eventually reached an agreement where I would remove his daughter from class for the rest of the unit and create alternative assignments for her to complete. Worst of all, since I was so accommodating to his daughter, he told me he would request that his youngest son be placed in my class, so I have to go through this headache all over again. I mean, bless your soul for being so accommodating, but now he's just gonna expect that for everything, every time, both his kids, every grade. He's gonna expect the same treatment. So good luck to everyone else who has to deal with this moving forward. I used to be an assistant teacher at a daycare. I'm a man. This one parent made it very clear that this wasn't a man's workplace. She would give me gifts at the end of the year for Christmas, like handbag holders and lipsticks with a smirk on her face. That's just rude. She wrote my name on them and made it clear it wasn't a mistake. I didn't give a though. I learned she spread nasty rumors about me to the other parents. She was just a jerk in general. Like, so childish and immature, honestly. Like, that's just annoying. Do you feel like an adult bully? Like, how do you just go home and be like,
I feel great about what I did today.
I'm a preschool teacher. Being non-medically certified, the only first aid me and my 2 other coworkers could administer was soap, water, and your basic Band-Aid or gauze/tape. We had a child whose parents worked in a nearby office building. She wanted to be called every single time her little angel got a boo-boo. Apparently, our Band-Aids weren't good enough, and she needed to come put one on herself. Well, what is the point of even sending your kid to daycare if you're constantly leaving work to go put a Band-Aid on your child's scabbed knee? What's even the point? Just take the day off work. Bring your kid with you. Kids fall everywhere. I was a preschool teacher for a long time and a toddler teacher. Those kids they're like drunk adults, legit. They're just walking into walls, tripping over nothing. It's just in their nature. I had a, quote, pray away the gay pair of parents who thought that the school was, quote, teaching their child to be gay because some of our teachers were, in fact, gay. They also thought I was deeply religious because they wanted to believe it and therefore on their side. Wrong on both counts. They jumped to the conclusion after I said that I thought it was important that parents instill a strong moral code in their children. I left off that their baloney beliefs do not make a strong moral code. Their son talked to me about alternative sexuality. I told him that he was a great kid and was on track to becoming a great adult, and that who he fell in love with was his business and his only. He did not share his feelings/ideas with his parents. I sincerely hope he moves away to university and never, ever, ever again talks to his parents. They are poison. Yeah, like in that circumstance, I wish that too, but I also just wish the parents would make a change and they would actually be open and loving and accepting, because running away and cutting off parents can't be an easy, healthy option either. Could also be for the best, depending on the situation, but I would just love to see a change in the parents more so, because I cannot imagine going through that and not having the acceptance, love, support that you really need. Because you got a lot of negative people in this world that are gonna, turn on you for that. So you need your parents' love and support. That makes me sad. A 32-year-old mom with a 15-year-old daughter wanted me as her teacher to deal with the emotional troubles the kid had. The mom left her daughter for a year and a half to have a real life with her lover and set some limits because she does what she wants and never obeys me. The woman refused to take any responsibility for her daughter's issues and refused to seek therapy for her family. That's just really sad. That'd be so hard as a teacher to not get emotionally invested in more than just a teacher role. Like, you'd almost want to be there for that child as a mom and to like fill the voids of everything that's missing there. But you can't do that with every kid. It's not your job. It's not your place. You can in the classroom 100%, but I feel like you would take that home with you at the end of the day. You would worry about these children. When I worked at the daycare, I remember any cases we had with like CAS and you had to call them and stuff. Like, I genuinely worried for kids sometimes. And I thought about them outside of the classroom a lot. Just like wondering if they were okay that night, how their home situation was, if they were in a comfortable bed. Like, ugh, so sad. One time a child peed all over the bathroom in the school. When we brought it up with the parents, they demanded to know why we didn't teach them how to properly use the bathroom. So we're just parents now too. Parenting is just out the window when you send your child to school. Okay, I've dealt with preschoolers who weren't in fact potty trained by the time they entered the preschool classroom. And when talking to the parents, they're like, oh, no, I thought you guys did that here. And it's like, well, this is a joint effort, sure, maybe, but I'm just trying to be nice and not say too much because I have very strong opinions. I had a 14-year-old student who was reading at a 2nd grade level. I had him read aloud a 3rd grade literature book to me in private because he couldn't be trusted to read it on his own. We answered the questions together and he wrote out the answers himself. His father called and complained to the vice principal that I had been too hard on his son and was trying to fill his head with ideas. Sorry for trying to teach your kid how to read. Parents, sometimes they do more damage than good. I'm not a parent, but from my experience being an ECE for many years, it's hard for parents to admit if their kid is going through something like this, like a 14-year-old reading at a second grade level and maybe needing some one-on-one attention and tutoring and work, it's like they get offended by that because they don't want to like, oh, that's my, you know, it's like, I don't even get it. Trying to fill his heads with ideas. What do you mean? What ideas? What do you mean? I read a friggin' book and answered questions about the book. What ideas? Make it make sense. My sister-in-law is a preschool teacher and had these adorable little twin girls in her class. They were very sweet, but came from a bad home environment. Oh no. They had pretty long blonde hair, but they were always getting head lice. One day they came to school both crawling with lice, so the teachers had no choice but to call their father to take them home and treat the lice. The father got angry, tried to argue that it was the school's responsibility, but the teachers held firm. So the father came to school and took the little girls home. 20 minutes later, he returned, having shaved both the little girls' beautiful hair right off. He left them there for the remainder of the school day. Oh my God. Well, I guess that's one way of taking care of the lice, just shaving their heads. Oh, that just breaks my heart as a little girl because I loved my hair and I still love my hair very much. We had a few lice breakouts in the school. And yeah, if your kids got lice, they can't come to school. That's how it spreads. And then all the other parents are going to be mad that we allowed a kid with lice in the school. We dealt with that for a long time because parents would come to us very angry and saying, well, I have to work. My kid can't just stay at home. I have to work. And we're like, okay, but if we allow your kid here, every other parent that doesn't have lice with their children and bringing that into their house, they're going to be mad because your kid with the lice that we know has lice is in the... There was no winning. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare every time. I tutor young kids at a center in an affluent suburb. I want you to picture these pushy parents and then collate them in one spot. Bam, you have my place of work. Every week I tutor this child. Let's call him Colin. Colin was a good kid, sometimes a bit slow at doing work, but we got through it. About 2 hours after every session, his mom would call and complain, telling us he didn't do enough work. Then the following week, she complained and said we overworked him and that he was overtired when he returned home. This all accumulated to the mother wanting to pull him out. And during his last session, the owner had a chat with Colin. He asked him if he liked being tutored and he responded that he loved it. It was the best part of his week. I'll never forget his sad little face when he left. Poor child. I just couldn't do it, you guys. I couldn't do it. And my degree actually was a teaching degree. I could have totally become a teacher if I wanted to. And, I am so happy I did it. I am so happy. There's no way that would have lasted long, y'all. Can you see me as a teacher? Ow! My sass to those kids. You put me in like a high school class and those kids are mouthing me off. Oh! No! This mouth, this facial expression, like it couldn't be. It just couldn't be. It would not mesh. I'm getting out of here though. Teachers, I want to hear from you, okay? I'm out of here. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.